And when I began to understand the grace of God, and as a pastor, and you pastor for years, and you get it. And sometimes there were people that died that their family had prayed for, and they didn't get to hear them pray that sinner's prayer.
Right.
But I believe with everything in me, in the last moments of their life,
Right.
Jesus honored the prayers of those saints. And I believe one of the beauties of heaven is there's going to be a lot of people up there that we didn't expect to see.
Right.
I believe that.
Right. You know, I've had people write me letters and say, Brother Dash, I'm not a Christian, but I pray for you every day.
Right.
I think it's fascinating. I mean, I think the simplicity of this, and I believe this, I think the simplicity of the gospel, I think it's pretty simple, you know, and I mean, I just believe it's simple. I really do.
It takes preachers to mess it up.
Yeah, I bet. You know, I didn't want to say that since you're a preacher.
Yeah.
I was trying to be careful, but I mean, we do.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like we can make it complicated in order to look smart.
My dad told me one time when I was a young Christian, and Dad was away from the Lord at this time, but I was getting all complicated and messed up my head. You know how you are when you first get saved. And Dad goes, Barry, the way, he quoted a Bible verse, the way is so simple that a fool could not err therein.
Yeah.
And that, Brother John, that wisdom you talked about, and that was coming from a backslidden preacher at the time.
Well, Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, I'm Yellow Jacket trying to get me. It's that hair gel. It's that hair gel bringing them to me now. And Dad had told me about that. And so anytime I would start
Sorry, brother, if I'm swinging at you. It's all right.
That's all right. And when Dad told me that, anytime I would start getting too complicated in my head, I would go back to that scripture. The way is so simple that a fool could not err therein. And we have made it more complicated. Like, I want to have a discussion, Brother John, when I get to heaven with the thief on the cross, because he broke all of our theological protocols in the way that he got saved. The way he got saved, he didn't pray our verbatim sinner's prayer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But yet Jesus said that he prayed. Of course, he gave his heart to the Lord, but he didn't do it with our vernacular.
Right.
And in the way that we do it on Sunday mornings, and the way that we've been taught to do it. But yet Jesus said, this day you will be with me in paradise.
Yeah.
And I find that so encouraging.
Yes,
and so amazing. I really do, Pastor John.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think, as I shared, I mean, I've talked to people and I listen to them, and, I just listen to them different parts of life. And I don't know, I think it's so simple, this thing. First thing, you got to not be a rascal. Okay. Right. I've shared with my kids in the past. I said, I'll always be there for you.
Right.
I'll always love you. But now, if you're a prick,
right,
you're not going to get my money.
Right.
Okay. And I'm not going to go out of my way for you.
Right.
But now, if you're kind,
right,
just be kind.
Be kind.
I mean, if you'll slow down and be kind.
Yes.
I mean, and that's what happens to people. I think we lose it even when it comes to being a Christian. I mean, sometimes, and you got to just be kind.
Just be kind. It's so simple. Love people. Be good to people.
Yeah.
You draw more flies with honey than you do with it. And I was talking to a guy, Brother John, and he said, I have no friends. He said, I have no friends. And he was just in a real negative mood.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it in a nice way. But I told him what the Bible said. To have friends, you must show yourself friendly.
Yeah.
And he's the most unfriendly little fella that you've ever seen.
Right.
And he's wondering why he has no friends.
Right. Yeah.
But it's because he never gives that off. And and to have friends, you must show yourself friendly. And I was thinking about what you said. In the last 3 years, I've lost my grandmother, who raised me up in the things of God, and I lost my 92-year-old papa.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget the wisdom that they imparted to me.